we will get started with this pop-up card class. I don't know if you know, but in Silhouette Studio, there is a tool to make pop-up cards. So we're going to go over how you go about making one of them and the different ways you can do things. The interesting part is that the free file from Silhouette this week is a pop-up card. So I'm going to show you that, and that way you kind of understand, how bits and pieces are put together. Plus, it gives you some really cool ideas of things you could do with your own. I'm going to go into Silhouette Studio. The first thing you need when you're going to do a pop-up card is some sort of design. It can be a photograph, a drawing. It can be something you make yourself. If you're looking for good images, I always highly recommend Pixabay. They're free, legally free, and you can go there and you can download PNG files with transparent background, which means that it'll automatically be traced when it comes into Silhouette Studio, even in the basic edition. So that's super helpful. You don't have to worry about tracing something. Now you can bring in something and trace it if you have something in particular that you want to use an image of some kind. You can also buy things from the Silhouette Design Store. One of the things I'm going to show you tonight is a butterfly, and I'm fairly certain that's where it came from. So they're really inexpensive. They give away a lot of free files, but they also generally run 99 cents for a file, and it's set up as a Silhouette file, so it's pretty easy to work with. Although, I'll show you how that worked with the pop-up card, because there's a lot of pieces and it can be a little confusing if you're not used to how to handle all of that. And of course you can design your own, and I'm going to go through that a little bit tonight. So the first thing we have to do is set up the card. I'm going to be providing card blanks. You can, if you want, you can pick these up at the library, and they are 7 by 10 unfolded. So when you fold it, it's 5 by 7. So what I want to do is make the inside the pop-up card part, because you need two parts to this. You have to have something to stick the pop-up cutout to. That's how it works. So what we're going to do is, I've already made a file. Got ahead of myself here. That's the right one. Okay. I must have saved it as the wrong thing. That's fine. I can deal with that later. What I'm going to do is go over here and turn off the registration marks, because I didn't want to do that. The first one I'm going to show you, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to bring in an image that you're then going to need to print and cut, you can do that. But I don't want to start you there. So let's say that here I'm in my page setup panel, and I'm going to cut this out of 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. The size I want this is 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. Pay no attention to the file name. 6.5 by 9.5, which is the size of this. You can see it's 6.5 inches wide and 9.5 inches high. And I've just colored it in so it's easier to see, and I made it a little transparent. If I go over here to my fill panel, you'll see it's at 50% transparency. Just so it's easier, I can see the lines through it and everything of my grid. Because one of the things I need to know is where is the center is of this card. And I meant to put this in the instructions, so if you want to write this down, under cut only designs, the center line is at 4.75 inches. So let's scoot in here. That's why I have set my lines. There's all math in this one. Sorry. My grid lines, the divisions are 4. Normally I only set it at 2 because these lines start making me irritated. But that way I can position it so that I can then position the design I want to cut out on top of it properly. When you're doing something that's just only to be cut, You can, your halfway point here is 4.75 from the top or the bottom, because it's the middle. One of the things you can do to help yourself is to, I'm going to scoot in here a little bit. Let's see where this is at. If I move this up, where I have this now is at this first line, that's 0.75. That's 3/4 of an inch. So if I count down, I have my 3/4, my 0.75. I count down 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the center of my card. I can take my line drawing tool. I'm going to redo that. So that's 0.75, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to draw a line right here, just for reference. I'm going to get rid of this line later on, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it there. And I'm ready to go. My next step would be adding my design.
And I know you've gone over this several times in previous classes, but unfortunately, I learned by repetition.
Okay.
How did you get there? How did you get this?
How did I draw that?
Yep. How did you get there?
Okay. That's
and only if we have time. If not,
no, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Because I just increased, I'm on page setup, which is this top panel button icon thingy on the right hand side. Oh, and on your, let me digress here for just a moment. On page 2 of your instructions, there's a lovely graphic that says left toolbar. Guess what? It's your right toolbar. It's your other left.
Okay.
So that's the point of confusion there. So cross out left, right in right, and there we go from there. So here I am in a blank. There's nothing here. I come over to the drawing tools, select a rectangle, and I'm just going to draw it. I'm not going to be too worried about the size of the thing, because it's kind of a pain in the neck. I'm going to fill it because I like things filled because I can see them better. But I also like them transparent so I can see through them. Somewhere around 50%, whatever works for you. Now, when I select this, it's telling me what size it is. It's saying that it's 5, almost 6 inches wide, and that it's 8 1/3 inches. I want that to be, as I know, I want that to be 6.5. So I'm typing, I clicked into that, typed, I want 6.5 wide, I hit tab, and I type in 9.5. And then I hit enter. And there you have it. There's your 6.5 by 9.5 inch rectangle. My suggestion is that you save this as a file. Like right now, I'm going to go save this to my hard drive. I save all my user created files to my hard drive, and I back them up to an external hard drive because I have a lot of user designed files, and I can put them in the library, and that's not a problem. But even if you do that, you should back it up someplace else, because if you, for some reason, there would be a problem with your computer and you would lose everything in your library, you can re-upload that from Silhouette, but you are not likely to get anything you designed yourself back. I learned that one the hard way. So I always save my user design files to my computer. I'm going to call this is what I'm going to call it, 6.5 by 9.5 rectangle. Now that's saved in my pop-up card file. And so when I want to make a card like this, all I have to do is open this to start.